So this is the third video in this series about how I met a brother I did not know I had until over the summer, because over the summer is when he learned that he was adopted, okay? He's 2 years older than me. If you haven't seen videos 1 and 2, the link is in the description. Hi, I'm Mina, the avatar for Tatum Talk. Let's get you up to speed on how the trip went. You're in for a treat. First, we got clear on my dad's history. What? No, Mina, no. It's my dad. It's not your dad. But I'm you. No. You're you, and I'm me. You know what? I got this, Mina. I'll give you another assignment. Let me take this over. Okay, here's what happened. We arrived in Boston just in time to get to our hotel, then turned right around 30 minutes to head out to meet at this restaurant. The restaurant wasn't a good choice. However, it wasn't about the food, it was about the conversation. There were 9 of us all together. So it was my brother from Atlanta. He brought 3 of his sons, 3 of the 5 of his sons, and his wife. So it was 5 of them. Then I was also meeting a brother I didn't know I had, a second brother, and who lives there in Boston. Okay, so it's him and his wife. Now that's 7. And then it was me and my daughter. Okay, so 9 of us all together meeting for dinner for the first time. I had brought pictures and I passed them around the table and we talked about the pictures. Also, for the one that lives there, Vincent, I learned a lot. So I told him, did you know that our dad's middle name is Vincent? It's John Vincent Tatum. And he said he didn't know that. I said, wow, so apparently you were named after him. And he said he didn't think so, but I mean, it's probably not a coincidence, right? His mother must have known that. Vincent ran track. And the brother I just met from Atlanta, he ran track in school, and so did my uncle. My uncle was on the track team as well, the one that's 90. And all of that is relevant because you'll see at the end of this video how we all go to the monument for my uncle, my great uncle. He was an Olympian and he won a silver medal in the 1924 Olympics for track and field. So apparently running track is in the bloodline. But don't look at me. Didn't trickle down to the girls. Apparently it was stopped at the boys. I don't know. I asked Vincent what school did he go to. So he went to Northeastern. And that was interesting because Daryl, if you recall in the other video, this was my brother that also lived there. Now I didn't grow up with him either. Met him years ago though, in my 20s, because my dad introduced us. He was in touch with him. So he's no longer with us since like 2 years ago. Daryl also went to Northeastern. And so they would have been, if Daryl was still here, a year apart, which means they were in college at the same time. They probably passed each other in halls. Who knows? Maybe had some friends in common. And Daryl was a radio personality in Boston. And I said, he knew Wendy Williams as well, who was a real famous radio personality that went to Northeastern. So I asked Vincent, did you know Wendy as well? And he said he did. Now here's some tea. Did not know this about my dad. The brother from Atlanta said the day before they met with his biological mom's side. So his biological mom is no longer here. She actually overdosed when he was a baby. He was adopted as a baby, so he never knew her at all. But it turns out, he said that side of the family told him that she used to prostitute for my dad. Really? Wow, never knew that. Okay. I knew he was into a lot of things, like, white collar crime and selling drugs and using drugs, but didn't know that he prostituted women also. So anyway, he got his original birth certificate and learned that his mom was Caucasian and learned that his original name which is now his middle name, is Christopher, but that was his original name at first. So the adopted mother just moved the first name to the middle and gave him a new first name. Let me tell you how thoughtful my brother is. So the one from Atlanta came with gifts. A gift bag for me and for my daughter. And what it had was a journal. It had a journal book. And I thought this was really nice. And then he engraved it. So it says, to Annette from your brother. And then the date, December 2023. God bless you. Now, he expressed how happy he was that we, took the time and drove up there and everything. Like, he was really grateful. He thanked me more than once for that. And then also, he said he never had family growing up. He never had family. He only, he had aunts from his mother's side. He had aunts, but they didn't have any kids. So he did not have cousins. He did not have nephews, no sisters, no brothers, no nieces. And so now, practically overnight, he's got a whole slew of people, cousins, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, a whole bunch that he never had growing up. So like, imagine that, right? That's crazy. I forgot to take my glasses off. So I didn't ask permission for them to be in the YouTube video. I didn't tell them anything about it because we just met. That's a lot going on already. You know what I mean? It didn't make sense. So that's why the faces are blurred out in these photos. Let me tell you the main topic of the discussion that night. It was about Hazel, because I had this picture and I had just discovered it like 2 days before the trip, that this little girl in the picture wasn't me. I thought it was me. Wasn't me, because the back of it says John and Hazel. So naturally, I'm like, who's Hazel? So I call up my uncle. Well, who is she?
And actually, she is one of George's girls.
His daughter?
Yes.
But he was wrong. So I discovered that Hazel is not a sibling. She instead is a cousin, because she is actually the daughter of my dad's brother. So my uncle, thinking that she was one brother's daughter, was mistaken. She's actually the daughter of his other brother. So that's why she will be my cousin. And she lives in California. Now, before, I had documentation, because there was a court case. There was a court case that happened years ago, like in the middle of mid-2000s. And I dug out this legal file and I went through the documents and I pulled out one that had Hazel's name on it, and I brought it with me. So now we had her full name and we had her address. And I was able to, so the younger son of, the brother that came from Atlanta, his young son is so smart and so fast. He's in college. He loves tech, just like my daughter. He is on his phone and he finds her with her name and address. He pulls up her picture, her husband. He pulls up other information about her. And so at the table that night is when we learn that she is not a sibling, that she's in fact a cousin. And we passed around his phone and we all looked at, the information that he found. And so that was interesting, because thank God she's not another sibling. That was so confusing. Then after the dinner, we took pictures. And then we agreed to meet up the next day at the family park. The next day, my daughter and I packed up and checked out of the hotel so we can head over to the family park, which was just a short 16-minute drive away.
Happy New Year. You too.
Edward Gourdine was not only an Olympian, he was also a graduate of Harvard. I believe one of the first African Americans to graduate from Harvard. He was also a Supreme Court justice. And he also was a general in the Army. I don't know how, what kind of magic he has that he could live like 3 lifetimes. That's like a lot to focus on in very different directions. We were all very impressed with the park, with the plaques and all the information that was posted there. The park is named after him. The younger son of my brother aspires to be an attorney and also be a judge. So this was like perfect for him because he could see that it's in his bloodline. Alicia was really sick the whole time, coughing. So the first thing we did as soon as we got back to New York was head over to the urgent care, and she tested positive for COVID.
It's birded though. That's what they call it go too. It's got a bird. Oh my God.
This one somehow gets COVID. How did she do that? She works remote. She's here by herself most of the time. She picked a week we traveling to be around 25 people to decide to get sick. I told you I ain't think that was a good idea.
I gotta be a thug about it. Oh my God. This is not gonna get any better.
Well, stop doing it then.
Oh my God.
Oh, one last thing. You know what else was interesting? So he said that his adopted mom is still denying. To this day, still denying that any of this is true. He has gotten DNA and submitted it to the website and it was found to be a match. He's gotten the original birth certificate. It says the mother's name on it. It says what his name was originally as a baby. Yet the adopted mother is still denying any of this. Okay, if it was up to her, he would not know about anything. Thank God for her sisters. They are the ones that sent him down this path in the first place. Okay, one last meal and then I have to hit the road. These are the gumbo collard greens that I shared with you from the other video that I saw on Instagram that I was going to make myself. They came out pretty good. And then, oh my God, I did not want to take this long drive, but here I go. I have plans to see my brother again this month in January because he actually works remotely from Atlanta. He works for an agency here in DC, and he said he has to fly in once a month for work. So when he flies in at the end of this month, then we're gonna meet up for dinner. Okay, Mina, close it out. Say goodbye to the viewers.
Bye, y'all. Good talk.
Girl, that's my catch. You know what? Never mind. Forget it. Good talk, y'all.